I'd like to call the Tuesday, September 20th, 2016 Papillion City Council meeting to order. Mrs. Butler, would you please take the roll?
Florence. Here. Mumgard. Here. Gaines. Here. Glover. Here. Jaworski. Here. Klug. Here. Stubbe. Here. Ingberg.
We've got Cub Scout 261 with us tonight that's going to lead us in the pledge. Guys, do you want to come on up? Just spent an hour with the guys talking about, they were doing their citizenship badge. We got a special present. Oh, do we have an affidavit of publication on file?
That is correct.
And a current copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted in the back of the council chambers. We've got a special presentation tonight. You might have read in the newspaper about a life-saving event at Papillion Bay late in the season. And we want to have a presentation tonight. Lieutenant Steve Young will cover the incident, and then Lori Hansen, Director of the Recreation Department, who has responsibility for Papillion Bay, Chief Bowes from the Fire Department, Chief Lyons, all will be part of the presentation as well, as long as it's Deputy Chief Whitted. Lieutenant?
Thank you, Mayor, City Administrator, and Council. I'm going to make this quick, but very, very respectful. Every day, first responders, lifeguards, nurses, parents wake up knowing the normal course of any day can forever change in the blink of an eye. Such was the case on July 30th of this year. At 3:27, the 911 operators, very professionally but with a noticeable tone of urgency, dispatched both police and EMS to Papillion Bay Aquatic Center for a drowning that was quickly amended to 2 drownings. Medical and law enforcement personnel will tell you that at times like this, blocks seem like miles. Upon my arrival, a full 3 minutes after the time of call, I arrived to see a full complement of fire and rescue apparatus along with Officers Black and Officers Nastasi. As I walked into Papillion Bay Aquatic Center, I was delighted to hear that the 2 girls, Kalea Hunt and Kayla Virgo, had been successfully resuscitated. Kalea and Kayla, can you guys, young lady, stand up for us? While EMS personnel attended to the girls, we began to put the pieces of the puzzle together as to what happened. In the shadow of the air show, a nurse practitioner and a lifeguard observed 2 young girls lying motionless in 2 to 4 feet of water. A carefully prepared response was put into motion by the entire Papillion Bay staff. The 2 girls were pulled from the pool and neither appeared to be breathing at the time. 3 medical professionals, which you will soon meet, who were visiting the pool had begun assessing the girls' condition and helped direct the life-saving efforts. It should be noted that while the preservation of life was being focused on Kalea and Kayla, the remaining staff quickly emptied the pool to make sure everyone was accounted for and then ushered hundreds of uninvolved patrons calmly out of the aquatic center. In my brief conversation with several of the individuals, they shared a common thread, and that thread was that none of them felt what they did was above and beyond their normal duties. I'm here to tell you that there are 2 young girls, some parents, and the city of Papillion that feel otherwise. At this time, I'd like to call those individuals up for a presentation by Chief Lyons, Chief Bowes, and Deputy Chief Whitted. As I call your name, if you'll come forward, I'll read off the lifeguards' names first. Alex Robles. Lifeguard Madison Ash. Lifeguard Mary Stanley. She didn't make it. Accepting for lifeguard Catherine Caskey will be Catherine's mom, dad, Steve, and Ann. Are they present? Thank you. The nurses and nurse practitioners that were present at the time were Patricia Jones, who lives in Maryland, and her daughter was going to come and pick this up. I don't know if she's present or not. She was in town visiting from Maryland. Tiffany Murphy. Stacy Steck. Stacy was also visiting from Valentine and came back for this. Thank you, Stacy. I'll now turn it over to Lori.
Well, very briefly, these things are something that we always never ever wish to have happen, but we try very hard to put ourselves in a position that we know how to handle business when it's time to. And I just needed to take a little bit of time to recognize Amber Smith. If you would please come on up to the front. Amber has been the manager at Papillion Bay for the past 9 years. In working with a group of young people, you know, it's not easy to always get lifeguards that come to work anymore. And she's been able to manage and create a culture and a family of a recidivism rate that exceeds 70% every summer, which allows for us to have great training. But she and her relationship with the fire chief and the fire department, who practice these things on a regular basis, who work with the emergency action plan every week and has in-services on a regular basis, goes to show that these kids, I think it came to complete fruition that sometimes I wrote to Amber, said often the role of a lifeguard is minimized as a fun summer job. But in reality, we know that that's not the case. The role of a lifeguard is vital to the safety of others who are experiencing fun at one of our water facilities. And that's what we painfully became aware of this summer, and it brought everything home, and all the hard work and all the practice and everything comes to complete fruition when you understand that these beautiful young children are here today because of that practice. So I wanted to take some time out to thank Amber for being a great manager and for training these kids that come to us to we can have these fun summer facilities, and for being such an awesome boss.
I just want to thank you all for the role you played. We look at the little girls here, and that's why we do it. So again, we have high professionals here, and we think we have best in class, and they're standing in front of us, and it's both citizens and employees. So thank you very much. And families, yes. Want to say something?
Hi, Kevin Virgo, Sergeant Virgo, United States Air Force. There's a lot of emotion right now, but I personally want to say thanks. I never got the chance to thank everybody given the heat of the moment, scariest moment of my life. My wife and I don't have the words to say thank you so much. Kayla and Kamaya, all these kids they're our world, and to know that's threatened is something that we weren't prepared to deal with. So On behalf of my family and friends, we really just appreciate all the hard work and effort by both everyone that was there and the emergency staff. I'm unfortunately moving on to my next assignment in Texas, but Papillion has cemented itself as a home for us, both community, both military and civilian staff. It's home. So just wanted to say thank you on behalf of the Virgo family for saving my child's life. Thank you.
I'm Tarian Hunt. Kalea Hunt is my daughter. Words can't express the joy I feel in seeing all of your faces. God blessed us with this beautiful baby, and we almost lost her. I'm retired Navy. I wasn't there, and we often in the military talk about watching your next person six, watching my back. You guys didn't see any color. You didn't see anything but our baby lying there, and that's priceless. I'm just very thankful and grateful for everyone who played a part in it. Our lives will have a huge hole in it, and you all are forever our family. Thank you.
Thank you again. Mr. Hoynes, Administrator's Report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Members of the council. I'll begin my report this evening by a brief update on the Community Center project. I believe you are getting written weekly updates through our Communications Director's office. As we move through this process, one of the things that Mayor and I are working with is to identify a project management process that installs certain checkpoints for the City Council so that we can do a good job of keeping you informed at key decision points. My goal in the next couple of weeks is to lay that out for you as a council and identify those particular checkpoints, but just really encourage you to any time. There are so many moving pieces with this project that certainly no one person or even one department can manage all of it. And so if you have any questions, raise your hand, give me a call Lori. We'll try our best to keep that moving along. Specific to the community center, though, we will be finalizing the contract with Sampson Construction, bringing that up, I think, at the next meeting is the time frame we're working with, and we'll continue to move that forward. Also, within the last couple of weeks, I did meet with Dr. Rickley and Annette Hyman from the school district. We talked about several joint areas that we need to coordinate with the school, not the least being the overpass, the condition of the overpass on 84th Street. As I informed Dr. Rickley, city staff's in the process of analyzing the current state, whether or not we were able to rehab that, if we are, what those costs would be, if it needs to be removed, what those costs would be, and any alternative options. But I assured Dr. Rickley once we get those options that we would engage the school district in whatever final decision process is made on that. But as those engineering reports come in and the other data comes in, we'll refer that back to Public Safety Committee and then get it up eventually to the City Council. I'll conclude my report tonight, Mr. Mayor, by advising the council, if you're not already aware, Robin, is she here tonight? Or not Robin, Becky, library. October 6th is a grand reopening of the library. If you haven't been there, I think, Chris, what time is it? At 4 p.m., but you will get a specific invitation here in the next few days. Just give you a little bit of a heads up to pencil that in. If you haven't caught wind of that going on, they've done a good job over there. That concludes my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion by Councilman Jaworski. Second by Councilman Ingberg. Do we have any proponents? Do we have any opponents? Any council discussion? Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Next is item F1, Ordinance 1747, an ordinance to amend Section 46-2H of Chapter 46 of the Papillion Municipal Code in order to eliminate the visual recording device requirements set forth therein and to change the record retention period for audio recording from 6 years to 1 year, to amend Section 4610A of the Papillion Municipal Code in order to change the commencement time from 7 p.m. to 6 p.m. for regular meetings of the City Council and to provide for effective date. Is there a motion to approve Ordinance 1747? Motion by Councilman Glover. There's going to be an amendment, but let's take a second first. Second by Councilman Mumgard. Mr. Ingberg.
Mr. Mayor and Council, I'd like to offer an amendment to simply delete the last paragraph of the proposed ordinance change and leave the City Council meeting times at 7 p.m. as they currently are.
Thank you very much. Is there a second? Second by Councilman Mumgard. Is there any council discussion on the motion to amend? Again, it's just on the time component, the last sentence, the last portion of the sentence. If not, Mr. Mumgard.
Yeah, I'll just comment quickly. It was an interesting proposal, and I understand why it was being presented. There are certainly pros and cons on changing the time. I went back and looked at the times that the other cities in Sarpy County begin their city council, and anywhere from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. And so there really is no uniform time period. I guess I looked at it that, and I think several other council members did too, what does the time mean to the general citizen? It's not so much what does the time mean to us, or what does the time mean to the staff, although I'm certainly appreciative of the time that the staff puts in to be here. The real question is, well, what's the time that a citizen would like to have the meeting at? And I don't come up with any magic answer with that, anywhere from 6 to 7, but certainly I understand that people are working. We want people to be here. 7 o'clock gives them a better chance of being here, taking care of the kids, getting dinner and everything. So I'm going to vote for 7 o'clock for no other magic reason other than it just gives a little bit more time for the citizens to be here and hopefully makes it more convenient for citizens to attend our city council meetings.
Thank you very much. Any other council discussion? If not, please vote on the motion to amend.
Seven yeas, 1 nay. Nay by Councilmember Glover.
Thank you. Any other council discussion on the motion as amended? Mr. Mumgard?
No.
Okay. Please vote on the motion as amended.
Seven yeas, 1 nay. Nay by Councilmember Glover.
Motion passes. Next is item F2, Resolution R16-0145, a resolution to acknowledge the City of Papillion's dedication of street right-of-way, generally located along Washington Street and directly across from Windsor Drive. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R16-0145? Motion by Councilman Jaworski, second by Councilwoman Klug. Do we have any proponents? Do we have any opponents? Any council discussion? Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
No other regular agenda items and no committees have met in the last couple of weeks. Do we have any comments from the floor? Seeing no comments from the floor, any council comments? Mr. Ingberg.
Well, I just wanted to point out, I think there is one member from Ray Keller's AP government class here. You should require they come forward, as everyone else does, and identify themselves.
Better stand up. Got to come up to the podium and introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Lily Ingberg, and I'm in Ray Keller's AP Gov class. So.
Thank you very much. Any other, Ms. Klug?
Thank you. I just wanted to note that before they even start to work, I would like to recognize a lot of the people here around the table that will be helping out with the marching competition this weekend. The Papillion La Vista South School will be hosting a marching competition. Anybody who's looking for a great time to see some really quality high school marching bands, please join us out at South. We will start at 5:30 with the top 9 bands at our competition. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just a couple of updates from the last couple of weeks. The Sarpy County Chambers Young Professionals Group has an annual event of Meet the Mayors, so all the mayors of Sarpy County come together, give updates of what's going on in the county to all the young professionals. Mr. Mumgard was there as well. I think there's some good discussion there. Sharp group of people. And a number of us attended the ribbon cutting for Your Family Dentist. 20 Dentist has been in Papillion for 20 years, decides to expand his location and build a new building, so a major investment, specifically choosing to stay in Papillion. The Sarpy Chamber also has its annual leadership program, and one of the things they do is they take a day and tour Sarpy County, and so we actually give a bus tour. There are about 24, 25 individuals on there, and we spent about an hour and a half driving around Papillion, giving updates on what's going on in Papillion. And then met with first graders from Patriot Elementary talking about local government, and then tonight with PAC 261, the same thing. And then Mr. Hoynes and I and several others also met with some 7th and 8th graders from all 3 middle schools that are part of the High Ability Learning Program. They spent the entire day here learning about local government, so that was a good program. We do have a closed session tonight. Is there a motion to go into closed session to protect the public interest to discuss land negotiations pertaining to parks and litigation regarding annexation? Motion by Councilman Stubbe. Second by Councilman Gaines. Do we have any proponents? Do we have any opponents? Any council discussion? Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. I will restate for the record, the purpose of the closed session is only to discuss land negotiations pertaining to parks and litigation regarding annexation. The closed session will include the mayor, the city council, city administrator, assistant city administrator, city attorney, city clerk, the planning director, and the staff attorney.